Hello and welcome back to ToolBox Talks for Electricians podcast. Well, today we're going to talk about one of them things that you might find quite boring, but it's a must. You must have insurance, unfortunately. It helps you get plenty more jobs and it covers you just in case something happens. In any business, trade insurance is a must. You must be covered just in case the worst happens. A bit like car insurance. You have to pay car insurance just in case the worst happens. I can't remember the last time I claimed of my insurance because, well, I drive carefully and obviously I work safely as well. So I don't need to claim off the insurance. But it's good to have insurance as a backup just in case it happens. And today we have a representative from Kingsbridge Trade Insurance to tell us all about why tradesmen should get themselves covered.
Exactly.
Right, so today we have Mike from Kingsbridge Insurance, who's a trade insurance expert, providing trade insurance to tradesmen across the UK.
That's right. Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah. Nice to meet you, mate. Thanks for
Nice to
having
meet you, Mike.
me. Yeah.
So, how long has the trade insurance for Kingsbridge been going?
So, yeah, I mean, the tradesman insurance backed by Admiral Business we've got here at Kingsbridge, we've had it now for it's going on near enough 2 years.
Right.
Had that as a piece of insurance, but Kingsbridge have been supporting the sort of tradesman industry for in and around sort of 15, 20 years. We've worked closely with tradesmen, allied trades, those sorts of things in the industry for a long, long time. So yeah,
Right. So yeah, it's quite well established in effect.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Been
Yes.
around the block a while.
And with your trade insurance, what do you think makes it stand out above the rest?
It's interesting, isn't it? Because there's loads of people that offer tradesman insurance out there in the market.
Definitely, and cheap and cheerful ones as well, but you don't really know how good they are until you need to use them.
Yeah, well, that's it. And sometimes that cheap insurance isn't always the best. Yes, it might give you a piece of paper, but are they actually going to pay out on claims? Are they actually going to support you when you've been...
Reply to you or something like that. Well, I've had a bit in instances before where my first NAPIT assessment, I had £2 million worth of cover, and he said, "Well, you need to get 5 million." Well, it was either get 5 million that day or pay for a reassessment. So I had to get in contact with my insurance that day, and I couldn't. So I thought, flipping hell, there was no number to ring and everything. So I had to pay for a new assessment to get to get the right documents in place.
That's a nightmare. Yeah, I mean, from our perspective, we've got a UK-based sort of contact center. So when you do need to speak to somebody, you can call us up. If you need to make changes, we don't charge an admin fee to make that change. It is just
perfect. Well, that's a massive thing as well. And admin fee, people always throw that in there.
Yeah, like to chuck on a £50, £25 admin fee.
Yeah, just to change the number, like, yes, and you're paying. Well, I think you pay extra premium anyway for more cover.
Exactly that. I mean, from our perspective, we like to keep things transparent with our customers, but some of the big USPs and the key things we focus on in this trade space is we give £2,500 of tools cover as standard in the policy. So
standard, that's a massive bonus.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about tradesmen, you think about the type of cover they require.
Mm-hmm.
All of my mates who are tradesmen go, well, I spend, I don't know, 50 to 250 quid a month on insurance just for my tools alone.
Yeah.
When we're looking at £2,500 of cover as standard, and it does include sort of 24-hour in the home or in a specified vehicle. So you can leave your tools in the van overnight, and you're still going to be covered.
Can you also up that as well if you say, well, I've got 10 grand's worth of insurance, of tools?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so the limit goes up to £20,000 worth of cover. So
right.
You can include obviously people use a lot of tools and equipment these days. So
yeah, definitely, and they're expensive sort of thing. And the more tools you get, you just acquire over time. Then you look in your van, and you think, flipping, there's a lot of money's worth of kit in there.
It's the small bits that are like, I don't know, your hammers, your screwdrivers that you've had for 10, 15 years, old trusty that you use.
Yeah, the things that you've adapted yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
It's the thing. More likely, when you do anything happens, inevitable happens, and you do get robbed, it's the little bits that, I don't know, cost a tenner. You think, flipping hell,
it all starts to
make that again.
Exactly, and to your point, it is the inevitable. I mean, unfortunately, at the moment, when you speak to tradesmen, the fact that they're having their tools stolen so frequently, and the lengths people have to go to protect their tools is
definitely.
So for Kingsbridge, it's a massive point. When we sat down and when I sat down with Admiral Business to launch this insurance product, tools was the most important part for us. Yes, a really strong pricing structure and providing competitive insurance and a strong claims history. But if we can get some sort of benefit around tools into the product, that was the most important thing for us because that's the
Definitely.
most commonly claimed on part.
Yeah, definitely. But more people claim on their van getting robbed possibly than the mistakes in the house. 'Cause I've claimed once on my tools, but I've never claimed from an accident I've had in someone's house.
What was
Touch freaking wood.
what? Yeah, well, that's it. What was the sort of the how easy was it for you to make that claim for tools on your?
Nightmare. Couldn't get. I was out. Well, if I didn't pay for them myself, I had to um, be out of work for sort of 2 or 3 weeks.
It's that claims process of like gathering the information you need, providing invoices, whatever. That is
Hmm.
something I would say is massively important. If tradesmen can keep hold of invoices or speak to their accountants around what has been bought and what you hold of,
Yeah,
what would you do hold in the van, that sort of stuff, it can make the claims process a little bit easier. But also you want an insurer that's willing to support you and help you through that journey because it's stressful as it is having your
definitely.
tools stolen, let alone having an insurance company be a hindrance to you getting
Yeah,
back.
after you think you've got a backup plan, sort of thing. So with Kingsbridge, how does the process work if you did need to claim for your tool insurance?
Yeah, well, that's it. So the claims process for us is the same, whether that be a £50 claim up to 50, £100,000 claim, depending on
Right.
what the cover is, right? We have a UK claim team that they sit opposite me in the office. They're a real great
In the
bunch.
UK, massive bonus.
Massively helps and just being able to speak to people, so the phone lines are open as our business is open, so the usual times, give us a call at any time, drop us an email, and that claims team will gather all the information for you, work with you to then take that claim and send it over to the insurance company to then hopefully get that claim accepted as soon as possible
Right.
and sort of minimize the back and forth. What we don't want is the tradesman having to go back and
So
forth
you
sending.
work with the tradesmen rather than against them.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. We want to remove the barriers to claiming. I mean, we provide a nil excess on our tools cover, so if someone does need to claim,
Right.
it's not going to cost them
So
anything,
it's
and we
not going to cost them an extra 250 quid excess to be able to claim.
exactly that, exactly that.
Right.
We wanted to remove that barrier because it's like I know all of my mates, all my rugby friends, the people I play sport with, they are a massive part of the tradesman space. And basically, he said half the time if my tools get nicked, they're like, "What's the point in claiming? Because I'm going to have to pay a 250, a 500
Man
pound,
excess anyway.
depending on what it is, then go out and go through the insurance process." They're like, "Well, I may as well just go and buy the tools myself and
Buy
crack."
it outright, yeah. Once
So,
again, and to take it on the chin as a loss sort of thing. And
and that's
it's a
it.
tough pill to swallow.
And that's not what we want people to be doing. We want people to be able to use their insurance as what it's there for. It's not
Yeah.
just this piece of paper that people hold because they're legally obliged to have it. It's
Right.
there to put you back into the position you were before the claim. That's what insurance is there
Well,
for. And we
that's
want,
really good to know, sort of thing. That's an insurance company that will work with you rather than against you, because a lot of the time that they try and find little small print to not pay out, and you don't want that because that takes ages.
yeah, exactly. And we work really closely with our insurers at Admiral Business and sort of First Underwriting. We work really closely with them around the claims journey and making sure that it is as straightforward and easy for people as possible. We don't want it to be a barrier for claiming. We want that claims
Brilliant.
process to go straightforward. And look, if it is something that isn't covered, we're not going to leave you in the lurch for as long as people can do. We will be giving you an answer, yes or no, as sort of as quick
As quick as possible.
yeah, exactly.
Right. So, other than the tools that cover you cover through your Kingsbridge Insurance, what other types of cover do you offer?
Yeah, so the package of insurance we offer, it starts with so public liability insurance covers sort of third party property damage if you
Hmm.
are working on someone's property or injure another person. We offer employers liability, so for the people that are lucky enough to have employees to work for them, will cover that up to 10 million, and public liability we can also cover up to 10 million pound worth of cover. You can then add in professional indemnity insurance. So I know that, for example, the NIC, EIC, they're saying that it
Yep.
is a requirement now to have £250,000 of professional indemnity insurance. So covers sort of advice that people are giving, and
Yeah.
from that perspective, we can also cover. sort of hired in plant, owned plant. So if you are bringing in a scissor lift or some sort of
Cherry
machine,
picker or something. Yep.
yeah, cherry picker, stuff like that. So we can cover that stuff. Or if you do own machinery, we can do that up to £50,000 of cover. And also then contract works cover. So if you are working on a contract, bringing in pieces of equipment or materials to carry out a job and something did happen to those,
Yeah.
yeah, we can cover the contract works as well. So
So you
it's
cover pretty much all angles.
quite a robust package when you think about it. And
Yeah.
yeah, we like the idea of it's a one-stop shop. So tradesmen come to you and go, well, actually, I need PI, I need public liability, I need employers liability, and you want to wrap it all up in one package. We like
Yeah.
the idea that people can come to us and get a really keenly
In
priced
one place sort of thing.
in one place. Yeah, exactly that.
Yeah. So what would you say the risks are for tradesmen out there that say, I don't need insurance?
It's amazing the amount of people that
I know people to do it, man. Yeah.
oh, we work with so many people that come to us and say, "Well, I've not had insurance before. Why do I need it now?" And
But
the
why are you phoning for starters? It's something
yeah,
in
yeah,
your head.
yeah, exactly. I mean, they're definitely thinking about it, and they know about insurance. People know why they need it. It's a legal requirement. If you do have employees, you have to have employers liability
Yep.
insurance. But also, the big point for me is like that trusted element. If you're going to go and work
Mhm.
in somebody's property and work in someone's house, you
Not
want
not just in property, in commercial, industrial as well. It
exactly,
helps you get contracts because I've been asked to prove that I have insurance before through contracts
exactly.
in doctor surgeries.
Yes, exactly. I mean, from that perspective, especially like if you think about it, you go and work on in a factory or a big commercial unit, and you're working on a circuit board or whatever it might be, and there's a fire off the back of your work, that
Mhm.
could be a pretty substantial loss for that business, and
Yeah,
they're going to look to recoup that. And because you're the person doing the work, they're going to look to recoup it
you're going
against
to be
you.
liable.
Exactly that. Exactly. So it's super important for people to have, not just from a legal requirement, but actually it's the commercial side is one thing, but I think the guilt I would sit if I was working on someone's house and I did and something went wrong and it burned the house down, for example, or whatever it
Yeah.
might be. I mean, that's pretty catastrophic when you think about it.
Yeah,
But
yeah, it's not just that though, sort of thing. Your personal accident where you do something wrong. It's possibly if, like you say, when you're working on a cherry pick or the scissor lift, and you drop something in a piece of machinery,
exactly.
that could ruin that machine. It will cover you for things like that.
Yeah, so that's right. So it covers you for that sort of third party property damage to whatever that property is. But
Mhm.
it's you just want to be in a position where if something did happen, you want to put that person or that business back in the position before you did that before the error happened or whatever it might have been. So I think it's super important. Yes, it helps you get contracts, it helps you get more work, but it's a it's definitely yeah, it's an important thing for people to have.
Definitely, yeah. I don't think people understand enough how, like, on a back burner, like similar to car insurance. You got to have car insurance, not just for yourself, sort of thing, but for others, like third parties as well, that might make a mistake because there's always someone to blame, and the legal costs of it, they can total up quite quick.
The blame point is massive as well. We live in a culture now where people are always
Blame as
looking
a
for
claim.
somebody to blame, right? And
Yeah, man.
it's it's came across. I mean, the US do it a lot more than us, right? They talk
Mhm.
about blaming a claim all the time, but I think it's relevant now. People are having more stuff done to their houses or their properties or their commercial
Mhm.
units, whatever it might be.
And more
And
technical stuff as well.
yeah, exactly. And they don't want to be left in the lurch their side as well. They've got businesses or they've got a house to
Mhm.
run. They want to be um, keeping things up to speed and running. And if it happens to be at the fault of a or negligence of a tradesman, you're going to need your insurance to cover
Going to
you.
be liable. So
They are,
with your insurance policies, does it cover the actual tradesman as well? Say like if they fall off a lifter, stuff like that. Have you got a policy that covers that?
yeah. So if if they're an employee and they're carrying out their work, they fall off a ladder, fall off a lifter. Yeah, it would cover that sort of yeah, the damage to that employee. At the moment, we don't currently offer personal accident cover on this
Right.
policy, but it's something we're sort of looking to explore down the line.
Mhm.
We offer it across different packages. We do have a slightly different package that is professional indemnity led that would have sort of personal accident included. So
Yeah.
there are alternatives to when you come to Kingsbridge. It's not just a one package fits all. If it does fit onto a different scheme, it is something we could look to move
Yeah.
you on to.
So the normal policy, what people obviously phone up for through Kingsbridge, is more likely public liability insurance. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So
So
most people, because to get a contract, they'll definitely need that public liability
yeah,
insurance. Um, that's more of a contractual requirement that people need, and that's the majority of stuff that comes through to us. We're seeing a lot more professional indemnity come through as well.
yeah. I was going
So
to say, is there others that you can recommend to the tradesman to say, look, have you thought about this? Because
absolutely.
sometimes you don't think about it all. It only comes up to you when you get an NIC or AIC assessment. They say, right, you need to be £5 million covered.
Yeah, exactly that. So the NIC EOC is a good. I use it quite frequently because that's where we see a lot of contractors coming through to us from.
Right.
Um, and their stance, yeah, needing sort of £5 million public liability is it's good practice to have, but also the professional indemnity at 250,000
Mhm.
that will just cover you for the advice element of what you're doing. So you suggest or you give advice around
Changing a fuse board or something, or
yeah,
upgrading
exactly
something.
that. Yeah, the advice then causes financial loss for that business. That would then be covered under our PI section. So yeah, I would definitely say tradesmen, when I think about it, they come to us for public liability, but quite often they once we've managed to walk them through scenarios or what's important by our brokers downstairs, frequently they will then say, actually, yeah, professional
I
indemnity
think I
is
do need that. Yeah.
my tools, I hadn't really thought about that, but yeah, you're giving 2,500 as standard. So there's some, it's interesting. You speak to these people, and that's how we work at Kingsbridge. We really want to speak to people and get an understanding of their business,
Right.
so that we can provide
So you can tailor the policy best to suit them as well.
exactly. We can give you all the information around all the covers we can provide, but ultimately it's down to the tradesman that want to make that wants to buy the policy.
Mhm.
But we can give you all the information that they need to be able to make an informed decision, because I think being informed is massively important, because often people will just go online, buy the cheapest insurance and think, oh yeah,
Yeah.
I'm covered. But actually you need a business that understands what you do, how you operate, and
Mhm.
yeah, Kingsbridge can do that for you.
Right. So what if the worst did happen? You're working in this beautiful £1 million house and they had a 100-inch TV and you faffed up and it fell off the wall. How would a tradesman go about doing the claim for that customer to obviously replace their TV that you just knocked off the wall?
Yeah, I mean, I'd be a bit cross, wouldn't you?
Yeah, this is the thing. It'd be a bit
Yeah,
annoying because obviously they spent, I don't know, 5, 6 grand on this TV, and then some dude comes in and knocks it off the wall. Accidents do happen though. This is the thing that I always worry about. Thinking like, right, where am I drilling? What's going to do? Is someone put that TV up properly? Are the vibration going to knock it off? These are the little things that I worry about as well. So I was wondering
exactly.
if it ever did happen, touch bleeding wood, it never has. But if it ever did, I'm obviously covered by trade insurance, Kingsbury Trade Insurance. But how would the process go if I needed to claim?
Yeah. So obviously the insurable event would happen. Let's use the TV as an example. They're installing a media wall or whatever it might be.
Yep.
Something goes wrong, and it's going to put the personal business at financial loss or in a financial loss position. We would then advise give us a call at Kingsbridge. So we've got a claims team, we've got our claims line. If you give us a call, we'll be able to sort of discuss that with you. It's called first notification of loss. So we would
Yep.
take that information off you, where, when it was done, whatever the case was. We then take that away and we'll deal with that on your behalf. So we'll speak to the insurers, get an understanding of what is and what isn't covered in this instance or whatever it might be. Hopefully, and in this instance, it would be covered. We would then work with insurers and yourselves to provide
Get
settlement.
that resolved
Yeah,
quickly.
exactly that. We have an instance, especially around tools cover. If you do make a claim and it's accepted, payment is within 24 hours of the claim
Brilliant.
acceptance. So it's a really, really quick process.
Yeah. So would that cover you, say, if you're on site and some scallywag goes in at night and robs all your kit?
I mean, it depends, right? So when we talk about kit, are we talking your tools, or is it more
Say
around?
they say the materials. The materials you've organised them. They're all on site. You can't fit them in your van because there's too many of them, and but someone clears it out at night on site.
Yeah, so that's where the contract works cover comes in. So if you've got materials to do a job, so I don't know, you're fitting, like I said, let's use a media wall, for example, right?
Yep.
You're installing a new media wall, you've got all the timber, you've got all the wiring, you've got the equipment, or no, the fireplace you're putting under there as well, the electric
Yep.
fireplace, whatever it might be. If that's on site ready for you to go and fit the next day, and somebody goes in contract work and steals it or damages it, or there's a flood or a fire or whatever it might be, that's where contract works cover comes in and would insure
Right.
you for that sort of thing. Yeah.
Right. So, but by the sounds of that, you've thought about your own media wall. Or a
Oh,
fireplace
hey,
underneath.
I've been trying to get the missus to approve it for years. It might just cost a bit too much. We'll see
You've
how
got a
she.
plan in your head, but you think, right, yeah, I'm going to get this.
Exactly.
Got
I
to
do
work
like a
around, sell some
media.
golf clubs.
Well, maybe sell the golf clubs or sell the KitchenAid or whatever it is we've got at home,
Yeah.
and we'll get a media wall. But yeah, it's definitely on my mind.
When devising your policy for Kingsbridge Insurance, did you look at price competitive to the rest of them?
Yeah, so we worked really closely with Admiral Business on this tradesman insurance around price and staying competitive in the marketplace.
Hmm.
As I said at the start of this podcast, there's a lot of people offering this product.
Yes.
There's a lot of insurance companies, a lot of people targeting this demographic of customers because there's
Hmm.
so many tradesmen in the UK. And we work really closely with Admiral around pricing because what we want to do is we don't want to compete with the ones that are providing
Yeah, there's no point in a
really
race to the bottom in effect.
low level cover, not going to insure people properly. They'll be under insurance, all that sort of stuff. What we want to do is provide a really robust insurance product that is going to pay out if there's a claim that's under insurable activities.
Hmm.
And we worked really close with Admiral on some price variances, and we're always pushing them around rates on I don't know, electrical contracting. We can do plumbing, we can do builders, we can do all sorts in that space. But we're constantly having that conversation with them around can we tweak pricing on certain elements that
Hmm.
then makes it a more competitive premium in the marketplace. But when I sit here now, I'm pretty confident when looking at others in the marketplace, we're providing really, really strong competitive cover at a reasonable price.
Right. And can you give us an example of maybe a tradesman that has been covered and a policy that has been claimed on? Obviously, not no names or companies, but through an example of what they would have had to pay out if they didn't have insurance.
Yeah, absolutely. So somebody I insured actually, I spoke to the customer. They were an electrical engineer. They were providing sort of machinery repair and maintenance. So they did
Yeah.
sort of a dual job role, and they were out on a job fixing a piece of machinery in a factory. It was I believe it was a belt within the machinery, not 100% sure, but
Right.
basically the work they were doing melted part of the belt. The belt then spun, damaged the piece of machinery off the back of the work that they did.
Yeah,
Um,
it always escalates onto something.
it
I
was
bet
it
he
was one of
looked
those
at it and
things.
thought, nightmare. I could see it happening.
Exactly, and that's it. It does happen. Look, we understand accidents happen, but so in this instance, the piece of machinery then broke. The belt snapped off, damaged more of the machine, so
Yeah.
it caused a few other issues to the piece of machinery. Originally came in as a loss at £120,000,
Ooh.
complete overhaul of the piece of machinery, because it was completely damaged. We worked with the insured and the insurer, Admiral. We've sat down with them. A lot of the sort of investigation around what could and couldn't have been done on this piece of equipment.
Yep.
Actually, it was we can repair it. It's a repairable thing rather than a completely new piece of equipment,
Yeah.
which is lucky because instead of it
Yeah,
being
sometimes if you repair it, it's better than it was new, to be honest.
exactly. So yeah, it went from 120 grand claim. I think it's going to be settled in and around £18,000 for the.
Right. Still quite a lot of money.
I mean, look, you sit there and if you didn't have insurance, you'd be having to find £18,000, and
Exactly, yeah.
I definitely don't have £18,000 sat in the
Not
bank.
sitting around to be able to, well, unless the job was sort of, I don't know, even if it's on the job, you're taking 20 grand out of your job sort of thing.
Exactly. So yeah, that's one instance. We also had a tools claim really recently, which was gutting to hear. So we were Kingsbridge supported the tools rally in Feb,
Yep.
and basically I think it was about 3 or 4 days sort of after that there was a claim for some tools that came in, and it was £10,000 of tools that had been stolen from a
Right.
van He was staying in a travel lodge overnight because he was doing the work, and yeah, 10 grand of tools were stolen. I think it was on the Thursday, and I think he'd had payment on the Monday. So it meant,
Relatively
albeit
quick then, yeah.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday not being able to do any work, but payment made on the Monday, he could go out and get his tools.
Yes,
So
we could order them up through them days, choose what he needed to replace it. They obviously need a bit of time to think what the hell was in the van.
yeah, I mean, it helped because he had a lot of the information around his tools. So he, like I said, he kept invoices, he kept information on the tools that were stolen, which I would say is a massive.
Well, definitely, yeah. I think all self-employed tradesmen here, well, you got to keep your receipts because you want to claim back. So
Exactly.
you got your receipts somewhere or other, even if they are 5, 6 years old.
Exactly, and work with your accountant, right? So like, keep hold of the receipt when you do invoice, when you do get the invoice for that piece of equipment or that tool, send it to your accountant. They can hold on to it for you. But it's
There'll be a certain column saying, right, these are the tools you spent because obviously you need to claim back on it as well.
exactly.
Yeah.
So there's things you can definitely be doing as a tradesman, tradesperson out there, like keeping hold of your tools. But yeah, that tools claim one was particularly gutting to hear after we'd been at the tools rally.
Yeah, it happens. This is the thing. That's why obviously they're doing the rally because I think I heard someone they got a slap on the wrist basically a couple of weeks community service and they
Oh,
got caught doing it. Like what?
caught in the act of stealing tools.
Yeah, this is unfortunate because I don't know any tradesman that wouldn't go out there with a hammer, and the more likely you'll get done for it anyway. So
Wow.
this is
Yeah,
the thing.
exactly. I mean, from our perspective, if we can give the police more power and things like that around tools claims, yeah, give it harsher punishments. It's
Yeah,
going to deter people from actually.
deter people from going to do it, sort of thing to start with.
Exactly.
So what are any mistakes you think tradesmen might phone you up and go, right, I need to cover, just want public liability. What are the mistakes you think they make?
It's sort of undervaluing the work that they do. So underinsurance is a massive thing in the industry anyway. But sort of coming in and saying, well, I just need £1 million public liability insurance because I'm just working.
Yeah, because you assume that your contract's never going to be worth more than £1 million.
Yeah, exactly. But there's more to it than that. Like
Mhm.
if you do a piece of work and you damage, yes, property can be very expensive, but it's
Yep,
not just that. If you're doing a piece of work and do something and the absolute worst was to happen and you kill somebody, it's likely that is going to be more than £1 million. And you sit there and you
exactly. Yeah,
what
you
what's
can't put a value on someone's life, basically, can you? Yeah.
exactly. I mean, that is the worst case scenario. And look, we'll touch wood that these sorts of things don't happen, but they do. Like, unfortunately, these things do happen in industry, and you just want to make sure that you're not undervaluing the work that you're doing and the amount of exposure that you have, because it's probably more than you initially think.
Yeah, you initially thought, oh, it's all I need, and you don't. You need an extra to cover you for every scenario, in effect.
Exactly, and there are loads of scenarios. Like, to your point, like there are there's more than one or two or three types of scenarios that can arise, can bring a
Yeah,
rise to a
you
claim.
think about them all the time. When you do work, sometimes you think this could happen, that could happen. I'm going to make sure it doesn't happen. But sometimes you can't cover every angle. So if someone wanted to get Kingsbury trade insurance, how quickly could they get covered?
How quickly? It's an interesting one. We pride ourselves on sort of speed to quote and speed to service here at Kingsbridge.
Yeah.
We want to make sure we understand your business and can provide you with
So you're
all of
not just going to sell them a policy, go, there you go, you're covered. You want to
the
understand the actual personal circumstances, in effect.
exactly. So we want to get an understanding, but that doesn't have to take hours. That we can get a quote pretty quickly. It will take between 5 and 15 minutes to gather
Right.
all the information, get a quote, start to finish, give you a price, and if you want to set up direct debits, if you want to do it by backs transfer, whatever, we've got flexible alternative means of payment that ultimately can support the tradesman down the line. So yeah,
Right. So that
it's
15
not an
minutes or so,
argument.
say 20 minutes, and you can be covered.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
give us a call, do it online. Just it depends. I mean, the online journey, more often than not, you'll probably get a call from Kingsbridge anyway, just to discuss, to say, look, we can see you've gone online to try and get a quote, but we just want to get an understanding of your business, what's important for you, what you
Mhm.
care about, and then we can obviously tailor the solution based
Right.
on
So
that.
rather than just fill in a couple of boxes online and get insurance, you want to understand what the tradesman does and don't need.
Exactly. It's super important to understand the business in entirety, because they could sit there and they go, yeah, I'm just an electrical contractor, but actually they might be, like I said, going out and fixing pieces of machinery, sort of in
Yeah,
factories, and making sure that you've got all of your activities noted on the insurance, so that if the worst does happen, there isn't a
you're
back and
still
forth.
covered.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
Yeah. So it's say like someone needed to update the policy. Like I was saying earlier, I had an
Yeah.
APIT assessment. I needed to ring up to up it from 2 million to 5 million. How easy would that be?
Yeah, so again, really, really straightforward process from us. We pride ourselves on customer service here at Kingsbridge, and something that we
Is it a UK based call centre?
exactly, yeah, cool. It's based out of Tewkesbury to be precise. So yeah, we are
Right.
we're Tewkesbury country bumpkins, but no, we love it down here. It's a lovely part of the world. But yeah, we again, you give us a call, UK based call centre. We'll speak to you. We're not going to make it an arduous process. We understand that sometimes
Time
you
is
do.
money.
Yeah, you want to be in, and you want to be in and done. But yeah, I mean, MTAs changes to cover levels, yeah, can take anywhere from 2 to 10 minutes. They're not particularly long, and we won't charge you for that, like an admin fee to make that change. But
That's rare, that is.
yeah,
You're saying it earlier, that's rare that you don't have to put something on top.
well, that's it. We'll obviously charge you for the increase in cover levels or whatever it
Hmm.
might be, but it works both ways. If you wanted to decrease cover levels, we'll give you the sort of pro rata refund on that. We're not just going to say this is your policy for the year. If you want to make a change, you can also get money back from it, depending
Right.
on
Fair in a way, yeah.
yeah, exactly. And that's what we want to be. We want to be right by the customer, and providing levels of cover. We don't want to charge them admin fees if we don't have to. We don't want to be making the process arduous. We want to make sure it's straightforward, and
Yeah.
we want to work with tradesmen. So that's basically as easy as it comes. Give us a call. We'll
Yeah.
get it arranged for you.
Nice and simple. So if
Yeah,
someone phones up and says, right, I'm working in this stately home and I need to be covered by my public liability insurance, and they're asking for copies, do you think that you've had the scenario where electricians or tradesmen have phoned up and said, look, I need insurance to be able to get this contract?
yeah. So that happens frequently. So a lot of the time, so like you said, at stately home, it might be working for the council or need sort of high
Right.
level cover stuff like that. So yeah, we it happens all the time. People say, "Look, I need documentation. I need the change to be made. How quickly can you do it? How quickly can you get me the document so I can go ahead with this contract?"
Yeah.
And there's two ways we can do this. So we'll make the change, and straight away documentation will be emailed out
Instantly.
to you. Yeah, instantly from
Fantastic.
when that change is made. But also we can pull it manually for you as well. So if you do lose it or you delete the email or whatever it might be, give us a call, drop us an email. We'll be able to get those documents over to you sort of straight away.
Right. That's good. Very efficient as
Yes.
well. It's what
We
you
try.
need, sort of thing. So you don't have to wait, sort of thing. Right. Send an email and then require, like, I've lost my email for the insurance policy. Can I have another one? It's simple enough to get a replacement, like, document of the policy to be able to
Yeah.
send to customers to say, look, I am covered.
Yeah, and that's it. And the proof element is really important. Being able to send people the documentation, like you said earlier, helps you get contracts. It's what it's there for. So if
Hmm.
you do miss, if you
I think it
do,
helps with trust. A lot of people, like with bigger properties, like they say, the council or stately homes or even domestic sort of thing, they like to know that in case anything does happen, you're covered and you're professional, because it makes you look a lot more professional with public liability insurance.
exactly, it can definitely help with the like the trusted trader element, right? So
Yes.
you sit there and you go, you want to be one of these trusted traders, but what does that actually mean? I would say that holding insurance is probably number one in there. How do you, yes, you're experienced other jobs you've done, but sit there and go, well, actually, if the worst does happen, I'm not just going to leave you in the lurch. I'm going to help put you back in a position that
Yeah.
before the financial loss.
What's one thing that you reckon tradesmen need to know about trade insurance that they don't really think about?
It's a good question. You sit there, and I think it's really important to look at.
Is it a legal requirement in certain aspects?
Yeah, so yeah, it's a legal requirement for, like I said earlier, if you've got employees, it's a legal requirement to have employers' liability insurance. So
Hmm.
if you people have people working for you and they do hurt themselves or whatever that might be down the line, it's really key for you to be able to claim on your employer's liability insurance to help support them with any injury or problem they have down the line. So that's
Yeah.
that's really important. I think. you look at other parts, like knowing the policy wording and having it explained to you in a way that is clear and concise, and be able to make so you can make an informed decision. So understanding what is and isn't covered, so that if you do have a contract, and you know certain parts of the policy doesn't cover you for this element,
You need to change it,
you
sort of
need
thing.
to change it or give us a call and say, actually, I'm now doing, I don't know, let's use an example, right? I'm now an electrician, but I'm doing some property maintenance, so I'm going to do a little bit of
Right.
sort of low level plumbing work
So
alongside.
every policy is different. Your policies are detailed for every tradesman. Like I can't
Yeah,
phone up and go, yeah, I'm an electrician, but it doesn't matter. I do change a radiator every now and again. You need to say that in your policy as well. If
yeah.
you're a plumber or electrician or a carpenter, not just like there's not one policy fits all.
No, it's definitely important to have all your business activities noted down, and that's why we pride ourselves in getting to know your business. So having that conversation with you, just going, because a lot of people will say that, they just go, "I know I'm a Sparky, that's what I do." But like you
Hmm.
said, they might change a radiator, they might I don't know, do some other elements to their work,
Yeah.
but they don't think about it, and they don't go, well, actually, I need insurance for that side as well.
Hmm.
Because if you're just if you're an electrician and you do fit a radiator and there's a water leak and escape of water, uh, people and a lot of insurance companies will go, well, you didn't tell us about
You did
that.
say you did plumbing,
That-
mate. Yeah.
that's not insured. So that's why it's super important and vital for us to understand your business, but also for then you to have the right levels of cover, and type and the right business activity noted on your policy wording.
Yeah. There's someone to be able to be covered by Kingsbridge Trade Insurance. They'll obviously need to phone you up and go to this link underneath that we're just going to put here and book a call to be able to talk to one of your brokers to see what detailed policy for them.
Yeah, so yeah, click the link below. You can go through to one of our, like I said, you go into the UK call center. They'll happily have an in-depth conversation with you. Can be as quick or as slow as you like it to be. Really get an understanding of your business, but there's multiple ways you can buy insurance with us. But it's a really easy process.
And
They're
it's
a
a
great,
tailored process as well, which is interesting that I find.
yeah, and that's it. We
Yeah.
want to tailor the insurance to you. Make sure it's right. Make sure you're covered for everything you do and everything that your business does.
Yep. Well, Mike, it's been fantastic talking to you, and I've found it nice to know that there's an insurance company out there that probably cares a bit more about the tradesman, especially with the tailored policies and with the automatic tool cover. Like that's something that I don't think everyone offers. If you ring them up and say, right, can I have a tool cover? They're like, no, no, that's not included. That's not included. That's the worst thing you want to hear. Well, that'll put your phone down straight away. But obviously, if they get a quote through Kingsbridge, that's not the case.
Absolutely. Well, Ben, thank you very much for having me. Yeah, Kingsbridge definitely do care about tradesmen. We want to be right by them. We want to make sure that they're covered for their work, and we want to work with tradesmen to make sure that's happening in the industry.